Italy time. Was it 2 a.m.? Oh my god. Just so everyone knows, Ryu is Peruvian, but he is living and studying in Italy at the moment. So he's in Europe. It is 5 a.m. Oh no. Ryu is telling me, he's messaging me, he's saying that he's been sleeping while he's been waiting. He's been napping in between series. Oh my god. It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. in Italy right now. So that could influence your predictions as well. He's tired, he's sleepy. It's 5 a.m. Because it's 5 a.m., they agreed on a best of 3, not a best of 5. So it's going to be a best of 3 finals. Both players agreed on it. So it's going to be a bit shorter. And does all this go Jim's way? You know, because Ryu is tired and fatigued and it's a best of 3, can Jim pull it off now instead? We'll find out. Oh god. I asked Jim, I was like, Protoss? He said, my life for Ire. Oh god. Jim has confirmed for the finals, Jim is playing Protoss, not Zerg. His life is for Ire. Best of 3 PVZ. Let's go. Let's go. Predictions are in. Letting everyone know. Oh. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Place your bets, people. Place your bets. You have 3 minutes to place your bets because I believe there's a 2-minute delay and I put 5 minutes on the countdown timer. Here we go. The grand finals of Copa Hyperion number 39. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing our very own Los Patitos, the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Mexican Protoss player. The ex-Zerg, now Protoss, at least for this series, at least against Zerg, representing Timbers Esports and Los Macacos all over the world. It is JimRising. Oh boy. And as no, Jim was not Zerg. Jim was not Zerg, as Mihail was saying. So Yulizo in the chat, someone is asking what the skill level is in these tournaments. It is open to anyone from Latin America. This is a region locked tournament, so you have to be able to prove that you're from a Latin American country. So that's South America and Central America. So you have to prove you're from one of those. Outside of that, it's open to anyone. So because of that, we do get a couple of Diamond and Masters players sign up regularly. It's great. The Latin American scene is always really receptive, and there's always like a bunch of Diamond and Masters who sign up and they want to be a part of the tournaments. But of course, these events are dominated by the GMs, by the pro players. For, I guess, for some perspective, Ryu is 6K. Jim, I think at the moment is like 5.7 or something like that. But Jim is mainly a streamer. He's not as much of a pro player as he once was. He has been 6K in the past when he was grinding, but he's not at the moment. It's one of those things where Jim has the capacity of a 6K player, but he's not there at the moment. And that's also with his Zerg, not with his Protoss. With his Protoss, it's a little bit more ambiguous. His Protoss is a little bit more up in the air. It's an enigma, if you will. As we do see a couple of links coming across the map, Ryu did open up with Le Pool. We do have the Zealot being pronoed out. The Zealot needs to be a part of the wall though. Okay, there we go. The Zealot does wall off. Lings will not find a way in, and they won't be able to deal too much damage. They're going to be able to chip away at the Cyber Core, but not much else. Oh, he gets in. Beautifully done here. Ryu will get a full scout going, and Ryu will, oh my god, he gets everything in. Jim, please, he fumbles at the wall. This bodyguard is an awful bouncer. Do not pay him. And these links confirm the Stargate opener, which is what we would expect. But again, Ryu just wants to confirm. JimRising is a bit of a memer. Like, you want to be on top of what the hell he's doing. So Ryu is well aware of the Stargate of the initial Void Rays. Meanwhile, Link speed even finishes up as the Lings are in the main base. My god. And the Lings, they even get some probes. What? This should not be happening. 2 probes go down. It looks like only 2 probes, but we even stay in the main base. You get a little bit of a more of a scout off. Even confirms the initial unit coming out, spots the Void Ray. And this will be cleaned up, but Ryu gets a lot done. Does he get another probe? Okay. That would have been too much. But Ryu got more than he should have. He got, what, 2 probes, 3 scout. Insane. Insane what he was able to get done. And a lot of that was because of this Zealot. This Zealot could have stopped it all if he was just on hold position, just chilling here, doing his job. Shaking my head, Zealot. Shaking my head. And Jim is going for a double Stargate. Makes sense. We are on Glittering Ashes, one of the, if not the largest map in the map pool. It's very wide, it's very thick. And because of that, there are plenty of bases to take, and you have a lot of room and freedom to tech up. So he is going for the Sky Toss, even +1 air attack on the way. Meanwhile, Ryu back at home, he is going straight into a lair. He's not wasting any time with an earlier Roach Warren because he knows he doesn't need it. Ooh, but despite that, this one Adept actually gets a drone kill. There's not a lot here to defend. Does he get he gets 2 drones? These Lings were out of 3 drones even. Well worth it for a single Adept. So Jim reciprocates, even kills a Queen here with his 1 Void Ray. So Ryu is slipping up a little bit. And this could be a little bit because of him being tired. I was talking about it before. It's 5 AM in Italy. So Ryu, that could be weighing on him a little bit here. He is slipping up from time to time. But overall, the lair is still on the way. I imagine he's going to go straight into a lair. We'll see, because as he's taking all these gases, he has the opportunity to go into Hydras if he so wanted to as well. Ooh, as this 4th base is going to be denied. Ryu being a little bit too greedy here with that 4th. Jim on top of everything. I love how active Jim is being here with his Void Rays. Making sure that he's able to deny any 4th. It's going to force Ryu most likely to double expand. To try and get one of these hatcheries up and running, and we see it's not for a Spire. He's playing a little bit safer than that. It would be quite greedy to go for a Spire at this stage. He is going for a Hydrogen first instead. And again, I don't think he's the kind of player to make the same mistake as the Zerg Lord, which means Jim has to be more on top of his control, on top of all these Void Rays. Oh, transfuse! Oh, we do see a transfuse there in the end. This time Ryu, he has all of his queens. He does force JimRising back. And what I mean is, if you remember in the previous series on Pride of Altaris, Jim lost like 6 Void Rays because of miscontrol. Like, you cannot afford to do that against Ryu. You cannot throw away your Void Rays, because if you do, Ryu will capitalize on that. As his 4th base is on the way, the queens are a little bit out of position, so maybe Jim can deny it once again. Ryu, please, he's gonna respond now, and oh, Jim, he doesn't go for it, he hesitates. And now the queens are able to rock up. They do save that 4th base. Oof. Meanwhile, Ryu goes for a secondary scout, confirms that there is a fleet beacon and that carriers are on the way. So now he's well aware that it's not gonna be a massive Void Ray, that there is no Twilight Council transition. And oh, those Void Rays, they want the lair, but they're not going to get it. They do end up sniping one of those spores, and that spore will need to be remade. As Jim, he can set himself up to try and snipe this hatchery later on, so Ryu has to be careful. Yo, Jimmy turns around. God, this Void Ray hit squad is so dangerous. Make it that spore up. Jim wants the lair. He's going to get spotted by the Ling. So the queens should respond. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Queens are on the way. Same time, finally, the Overseer is going to get cleaned up. Does confirm that 2 more Stargates get thrown down. What this does is this confirms that there is no Robotics Bay, and there is not going to be any Disruptors on the ground or High Templar on the ground either. So this means that Ryu doesn't need to go into Lurkers. He can kind of save his gas, utilize his tech, or utilize his gas a little bit more efficiently, and go straight into that hive and go straight into the Spire. Like, a ground army is not what you need. Lings and Banes have their place to go for run-bys and to hit these fringe bases, but again, there isn't going to be an army on the ground for them to deal with, so Ryu has to focus a lot more on that anti-air. Meanwhile, Void Rays are going to be sharking around once again. They're going to pick up... Oh, they don't even get the Overseer. Nice transfuses by Ryu. Does meet the army. Corruptors are now on the way. We only got enough Hydras to survive until Corruptors. I think that's a very important thing to take note of. 7 Hydras are built, and that is it. You only make enough Hydras to survive, and then you go straight into Corruptors to deal with the carriers. Oof. So again, Ryu being very efficient with how he spends his gas. Gonna be throwing away Queen. Oh, but again, because of all that gas, he gets a faster Hive. 3 Vipers are already on the way as well. Like, you can see that the overall composition that Ryu is going for is so much more well-rounded compared to the Zerglord. The Zerglord's army was a lot more frantic. It was a lot more desperate to deal damage and to attack and to go across the map. Ryu, he's taking things a lot more slower. He's accepting the late game. He's taking up. Again, he's getting that end game composition that he wants. And Jim isn't. Like, Jim is expanding freely, don't get me wrong, and he is getting carriers, don't get me wrong either, but the late game Protoss army that you want isn't just carrier Void Ray. Like, we've spoken about this plenty of times on, like, a broken record at this point. You know, you want Storm, you want Splash Damage, you want Archons, you want more, otherwise a player like Ryu is just going to abuse you. And I think we're going to see that this game. I think Ryu is going to show you what happens if you don't make Splash Damage. I mean, he did that against Zions, if you remember. At this point, Ryu, he's happy to throw away these Hydras. You know, they're just dancing with the Void Rays whenever they can. Corruptors are diving on forward. Oh, God, these Void Rays need to get the hell out of here. Vipers are stocked up on energy. We have Lings to go for run-bys. We have Banelings, Baneling speed as well to go for those Baneling run-bys into the Sag Defense, into the Mineral Lines. Ryu, he's maxed out, and you know what you have to do when you're maxed out? You have to, again, just rebuild your army. Get rid of all these useless Hydras. Hydras are just absolutely useless right now. We need more Lings. We need more Corruptors. Just cleaning up his supply. And now we're fighting in the open ground, exactly where Ryu wants to fight. Oh God, almost saw a Parasitic Bomb there. Almost. The carriers are looking a little bit exposed here. They're going to get yoinked. Oh. They actually get 1 Viper at the same time. Lings were wreaking havoc here at the 3rd base. 11 probes went down. Ryu backs off. He actually lost one of his Vipers in the retreat, which is a pretty big deal, to be honest. Like, losing a Viper is huge, especially because Ryu doesn't have a Spore Forest. So Jim actually has an opportunity to win the game. If he attacks now, before the Vipers are ready, before the Spores are ready, which they're not even being made, like, Jim can still win a fight. Boy, meanwhile, here we go. Ryu, he doesn't want to expose his Vipers too soon. He goes in. There we go. Parasitic Bomb on every single one. And there we go. He dives on top of the Parasitic Bomb. And now the Interceptors, they're going to be going down. Oh, God. The Void Rays are doing a lot of damage. But, mate, where did the Interceptors go? The Parasitic Bomb killed them all. It only took a second. But that's exactly how you want to deal with it. Throw down the Power Bomb, stack up all of your Corruptors on top of the Parasitic Bomb, and just like that, in a couple of seconds, every single Interceptor dies. And now they all have to be remade. Ryu fights beautifully even without the Spore Forest. And it's all about being patient. It's all about waiting for that one engagement. And now, hey, remember how earlier there were cannons and shield batteries here? They were killed earlier, they were not remade, and the Ling run by hits again. 8 probes go down. What's also important is that the Void Ray count was completely reset. We need those Void Rays, and without them, Ryu is going to have a much easier time dealing with all these carriers. Again, the one thing that I have to criticize about Ryu, outside of his beautiful control, is the lack of a Spore Forest. Like, because of that, like, a lot of his fights kind of hinge on these Vipers. Like, if there's ever a fight where the Vipers are sniped prematurely, I do worry for Ryu. I do think that, like, very quickly, JimRising will gain ground, and he'll be able to push out and take up bases. So I am worried, but, like, where are all those, like, minerals being spent? In these Lings and in these run-bys, like, not on Spores. It's understandable, but it's risky. It's scary. I'm scared for Ryu. But here we go. He's sharking around. He wants to find those carriers. He's looking for them. Up. Catches the Void Ray. Up. Confirms the location of the carriers. At the same time, going to be going for a run by, but the Void Rays actually... Oh no, they're isolated. Jim wants, Ryu wants them. Up, up. 2 carriers are gonna go down. We do see a parasitic bomb. For the most part, the Vipers are kept in the back line, kept alive, and just like that, all the Void Rays get reset again. Jim, you can't do that, buddy. You can't split up your army like that. Or if you do, like, you gotta be sure to protect it. And this is where, obviously, Archons come into play. Like, Jim, this, like, pure Skytoss has its weaknesses, and Ryu is exploiting them. There we go. As soon as Ryu sees any of the Skytoss move out, he wants it. He wants to dive on it. And there we go. Another parasitic bomb. Again, he dives on top of the parasitic bomb to kill all the interceptors. And just like that, there's nothing left. Oh my god. Oh no, we have a couple more interceptors coming out. Don't get me wrong. But the carriers are being focused down. Aye, aye, aye. And again, these are trades that Ryu can go for. Oh, was it enough though? 13 Corruptors are on the way. What's important? Jim, he's throwing down the Temple Archives. He's getting ready for it. At the same time, there was a Ling run by the way. Oh my god. I think you could argue that these Vipers turned around too soon. I think they could have stuck around for one more Parasitic Bomb. Not gonna lie. I feel like they could have been there. Instead, they threw down one Power Bomb and then they just turned around and left straight away. They're like, we're out of here. Our job is done, when I feel like their job was only just starting. But this is a scary thing, right? So Jim has finally recognized that, you know, hey, I can make units on the ground as well. And with this Templar Archives, he has access to Archons, and now this is gonna get much harder for Ryu. Oh boy. So this is pretty tense. On top of this, even though Jim has been losing these mineral lines, like, look at his probe count. He's got 82 workers. Like, his worker count is looking pretty fine. It's honestly not bad. And Ryu doesn't have a bank. So I kind of want to say Jim is winning this, not gonna lie. Even though Ryu can win fights, because he's trading at the end of the day, like, I think Jim is just trading better, or he can reinforce better. Meanwhile, the hatchery's gonna go down. Void Ray's coming in clutch. Hello? Oh, there we go. Hatchery does get sniped. Harassing Void Rays, mate. You need more side defense. You need the small. Oh my god, gets another kill. Kills 2 hatcheries, but at the same time, Ryu's had enough. He's diving in. Is he being a little bit too premature? We'll see. Throws down more parasitic bombs. Is it going to be enough? That is the question. He's going to be able to clean up all of these carries. Oh my god. I should never have doubted him. He resets the carrier count again. He was just waiting for that one fight. Sure, these Void Rays kill 2 hatcheries, but it doesn't even matter if I kill every single carrier. GG gets called. Ryu takes game number 1. Oh, it's so scary. Oh, I forgot Ryu is in Italy right now. Yeah. He is in Italia. But what a game, what a game. It's one of those things where Ryu wasn't really playing a war of attrition. You could see that, like, he didn't really have a bank. He kept going for these fights, but like every single one of those fights, like, was calculated and very well executed there by Ryu. And you have to wonder, like, if you're Jim, how do you stop that? Archons, man. Archons. Whenever Corruptors bunch up like that, like 2-3 Archon shots, kill all of them. You punish them for bunching up like that. Archons completely shut that down. And Archons force Broodlords or Lurkers, usually Broodlords. They force Broodlords out, you know, they make the Zerg army suddenly much slower because Broodlords are incredibly slow. They allow you to, okay, now you have Broodlords, now I go into Tempest, so like the Protoss army gets diversified even more, and then it becomes like a Tempest play against the Broodlords and the Vipers. And then of course, then we need Infestors. Like, it forces like more diversity from the Zerg, and it allows you to like live longer and, you know, go into the late game. Jim again is just a little bit, he's just hyper focused on mass carrier Void Ray. It's like, it's not that good. It can be good at the lower levels, don't get me wrong, But at a certain point, like the Zerg players are, you know, once you get high enough in MMR, high enough in the GM ladder, like Zerg players know how to deal with it. Ryu knows how to deal with it. And just like that, GG. See AJ Skater. Come on, Ryu, show us how to destroy mass carry. Oh, you're about to find out. Oh, you saw it. My mistake. GG. And now we are getting into game number 2. Oh. Here we go. See Smack in the chat. Gana el ceviche. Oh, yo. I could do with some ceviche right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm starving. I did have breakfast today. I did have breakfast. Oh boy. But it is now 3 p.m. here in the land of Oz. But here we go. Game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pride of Altares LE, we have our Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Ryu. And spawning on the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altares LE, we have the Mexican Protoss player representing Timbers Esports, Macacos all over the world, and his very own stream. I don't know what his fans are called. Maybe you can let me know. We have JimRising. Jaime Arturo Duran Silencio, mate. Let's go. And we'll see what Jim has in store for us here. Again, I think what we just saw was, Jim, your style of mass carrier. It may have worked against the Zerg Lord when the Zerg Lord was massing Hydra, and that's it. But Ryu, he's comfortable against that. He knows the correct response. He knows how to play against it and what kind of army composition to go for. So it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. To be fair, on a map like Pride of Altares, it is thinner. It is a little bit more compact compared to Glittering Ashes. So a carrier push could maybe hit a little bit harder. But I would advise against it. Again, in general, against Ryu, I advise against going Skytoss. Or if you go Skytoss, try and hit an earlier timing before Ryu is able to get his Vipers up and running, his Corruptor count at a high enough place. You know, try and play against his strengths and towards his weaknesses. I mentioned it before, but Ryu is typically weakest in the mid game, not so much in the late game. So we'll see. We'll see what Jim has in store for us. We'll see if he has other tricks up his sleeve instead of just going double Stargate Void Ray into carrier. Because I don't see that working. I don't see it working. Not against our boy Ryu. Oh. Alright. Here we go. So far, so good. I don't know how I feel about this. So Ryu went for a hatch gas pool. Jim is still getting that Zealot out. This is one of those things that shows you that Jim, his main race is Zerg and not Protoss. This is just a little bit inefficient, right? Typically you don't get this Zealot. Typically you just wall off completely, or you just allow these links in and you deal with them with like your Adept instead. Like, the Zealot is a bit of a waste just because it doesn't serve much of a purpose other than dealing with an early pool. And this isn't an early pool, it's a regular pool. And the link gets in anyway. Oh my god. How does he do it? Oh my but the one link does get in, and once again for the second game, Ryu will confirm with slow lings the Stargate opener. Ryu, you know, his lings, they're just lubed up beforehand. He oils them up, ready to go. He slips past the Zealot, and he just slips on in. Doesn't have to waste his Overlord yet to confirm, and we'll see if he, like, now that Link Speed is finished, he could even confirm the Void Ray as well, and that's exactly what he does. So now he knows that there's no Oracle, so he doesn't have to rush out those spores in those mineral lines. Instead, he can rely on Queens for the time being and delay his spores a little bit more. So great scouting, great response so far by Ryu. Meanwhile, my eyes are on Jim. Like, you know, we were talking about it. Are you really going to go double Stargate again? Or if you do, are you going to do it a little bit differently? I would hope so. I would hope so. Oh boy, oh boy. We shall see. Meanwhile, of course, Ryu, he's playing it safe. We do have Overlord Speed on the way. Numas has Carapace, which is, again, just to confirm the scout. Ryu does have an Overlord waiting outside the main. And it's important because he needs to find out, hey, is it going to be double Stargate again, or are you throwing down a Twilight Council? If it is a Twilight Council, what exactly is it? How many gases are you taking? Is it going to be a Zealot all-in? Is it going to be Glaive Adept? Is there a Forge for +1? There's a lot to scout in the main. And as we can see, there's not a lot going on. It's more of the same. It's a Fleet Beacon and a Stargate. So Jim is saying, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Game 1, it was honestly pretty close. There were a lot of moments that were pretty tense, not gonna lie. And Jim was finding some success with his Void Rays. He was killing bases. He was sniping hatchery. Oh no, not like this! No, Jim! Oh my god. A little bit of miscontrol there is going to take a lot of damage. Why the miscontrol? Because he was controlling his adepts instead. He gets into the mineral line, he gets into the natural, and he will kill 5 drones. Not bad. Well worth it. Sure, he took a lot of damage on his Void Ray, but the Void Ray still... He's getting more drones! Oh my god. This is too much damage. 7 drone kills? GG. It's not game-ending damage, but it's a very nice lead here for Jim. So he's able to disrupt the economy a little bit here of Ryu. Ryu's trying to get this goal base up and running, but the Void Ray's in position. He can just deny this. Go for it. He's waiting for the second Void Ray. Waiting that long means that the queens are able to show up, so it looks like Ryu is going to be able to keep this up and running. He was waiting for a 3rd Void Ray even. He's gonna wait for the 4th. He is. Queens are here, buddy. Buddy? He's gonna try. Oh boy. He takes a lot of damage. Ryu this time holds onto the gold. Jim, I understand why he was waiting. Obviously, he wanted to wait until all 4 Void Rays showed up, but waiting that long did mean that Ryu could actually position his queens and now defend this 4th base. But Flux Veins just finished up. We now have Void Ray speed, and even though the Void Rays couldn't kill the 4th, they could maybe kill a different base instead. Here we go. Once again, I love how active JimRising is being here out on the map. Oh, does force a cancel on the Spore. The queens, for the most part, are keeping up with these Void Rays. Oh! Void Rays do turn around, almost get 1 queen, but the transfuses are on point. And Jim doesn't find a way in. At the same time, Hydra Den just finished up. Hydras are going to be pumped out. I'm curious to see if Ryu is going to commit to the Hydras, though. Or if he's just going to get like 7 or 8 Hydras and then transition into a Spire from there. We shall see. It looks like he wants to go mass Hydra. Let's go. But in a very different way. Meanwhile, Void Rays are about to rock up. Transfuses are good, but they're not that good. The queens are going to get picked off one after the other. The rest of the queens need to respond. Here they are. Can they save the hatchery? It looks like they will not hold on to it. The Void Rays, their DPS is just far too high. Goal base goes down. Beautifully done here by Jim. He did end up losing a Void Ray in the process, which is less than ideal, but keeping the economy down of the Zerg is so important. The Jim, he's getting work done with all these Void Rays. Meanwhile, I was talking about it earlier. Ryu, he is going Hydras. Not just Hydras though, he is going Hydra Infestor. And this is what the Zerg Lord tried to get into and failed, but what Ryu is getting into much faster. And that is utilizing these infestors for Microbial Shroud. Again, there's no splash damage. I think Ryu has identified that Jim doesn't like going for splash damage. He doesn't go for Archons or Storm or Disruptors. So because of that, Microbial Shroud will actually work. Oh no! The Hive! Oh my god, it's dead. The Hive is gone. There is no saving it. No Vipers, nothing. Gee, I almost want to call GG at that point. Ryu was completely out of position. He needed an Overlord here to spot these Void Rays coming, and he's being pulled apart. These Void Rays for Jim are winning him this game right now. It's not just that he sniped 2 hatcheries, he killed the Hive. That's huge. Oh my god, but how did this happen? Just before the Hive died, 2 Vipers were morphed in. That was clutch. That's insane. How? How did these Vipers come out? Hold on, where's the second one? I know there's two. There they are. 2 Vipers somehow came out in time. That's huge. Now it doesn't really matter that the Hive was killed. Now it's okay. Oh my god, the Fungals are being thrown down as well. Hydra Viper Infestor. Let's go. So again, it was a great pickup from Jim, but it wasn't as significant as we really thought it was going to be. And now Ryu has his spellcasters. He's got Infestors for Fungals and Microbial Shroud. He's got Vipers for Ducks and Parasitic Bombs. It's a lot to control. So we'll see how good his control is as there we go. We see a Power Bomb thrown down. How good are the splits? So far, so good. Both Void Rays are split off. But what's important is that those Power Bombs weren't meant to kill. They were meant to buy time. They forced Jim all the way back, and now Ryu, he can just suck on some more buildings. Get that youth energy up and running. That youth juice. These Vipers, they should be sucking on some buildings. Uh-oh, they're not going to be ready. They're not going to be ready for the next fight. Exclamation mark for nada the Vipers. Meanwhile, here we go. Ryu is maxed out. He's ready to push out. Pushing into this third base isn't going to be ideal. There's a lot of shield batteries, a lot of cannons, but the fourth, the fifth, they're much more exposed, and hopefully Ryu was able to acknowledge that, take notice of it, and rotate around towards them. Meanwhile, again, he's approaching this matchup very differently compared to the previous game. We see our Spore Forest being thrown down. Very different approach, and I kind of love it, right? If you're a Zerg player watching, and if you wonder how to deal with Sky Toss, well, game 1 and game 2, you have 2 very different responses. Oh my god, Ducks! Yoink! Up! He wants him! He gets one! Oh my god, one carrier goes down immediately. The Void Rays, they need to be at home to defend. They're gonna get a hatchery for free, don't get me wrong. They might even get 2, but at the cost of the carriers? I don't know if this is the right move here for Jim. He just goes straight forward. He wants the hatcheries, but in the process, he's going to be losing his base unless Ryu turns around. As there we go. The Void Rays take out the natural base. They could even take down the Hydra Den, and they will. At the same time, Ryu doesn't turn around. He will get the base. We're going into a base trade, and I feel like the Void Rays have the advantage, unless the Vipers are able to get some parasitic bombs off. There we go. Third base goes down. Without the Vipers, Ryu can't push into the natural, but he can get the fourth instead. Meanwhile, Void Race is still going to town. They get 2 hatcheries. They could get a third. Queens are going to try and defend. They're going to do their best. God, this is so wonky. Hive is going to go down again. Where are the Vipers? We need them. No Vipers. No. Vipers, please. We need some parasitic bombs. Oh, God. So Jim is going to lose 3 Nexuses. Ryu is going to lose 4 hatcheries. 5. No, sorry. 4 hatcheries so far. And the Hydra Den again. Oh, God. But Ryu is going to turn around. I think he's going to come back home. Question mark? Maybe he feels like he can defend with his queens. Okay. He won't come back home. Maybe he should. Ay. Okay, here we go. He does come back home. Ryu is down to 2 bases right now. So 2 base versus 2 base, but 2 maxed out armies. I still think that Ryu wins head on. But the Spore Forest is being cleaned up. Ryu is on the way though. He's coming. Oh god, is he gonna come in time? Oh, the Vipers. Okay, they have to be careful not to overextend. Same with those. Oh, same with those Infestors. Microbial Shroud is thrown down. Even have a couple of power bombs. Nice splits from Jim. Is it going to be enough? The Microbial Shroud's so good. Unironically, when there's no splash damage, it's so good. The carriers are being sniped one after the other, and the Void Rays turn around. But they run into Queens. The Queens. Ryu, the madman. He's defending and attacking at the same time. He will respect the Void Rays, though. He turns around. He's like, okay. I don't want to lose another hatchery. Not again. As Ryu is mass expanding right now, he's trying to get all these bases back up and running. Jim still got a lot of carriers and Void Rays. He made his first Archons. Hey, Archons, we needed you last game. You were needed in game 1, not in game 2. Archons are not the play right now. You know what we need? We need High Templar, yes, but not for. We need Storm. We need Storms right now. What are Archons are great against Corruptors, not against Hydras. Jim. You're a game late, Archons. Meanwhile, Void Rays are gonna get more hatcheries. Ryu, he's pushing in though. We're going for another base trade. 2 base trades in 1 game. The Archons are doing what they can. Don't get me wrong. Oh god, but the Yoinks are coming down. Oh, there's just not enough Hydras though to really clean them up. Yoinks don't matter. Archons were actually putting in a lot of work. Behind this, the Void Rays killed 2 hatcheries. Oh, but here we go. Finally, the Yoinks that we were looking for. Void Rays is gonna get another hatchery as well. Like, the Void Rays are so good at sniping bases. Oh, they got 17 workers as well. This is actually really scary. Like, Ryu is running out of supply. He's losing too much of these. He needs to respect these Void Rays a little bit more. He's gonna get another base. It's happening. Ryu is... it's not looking good. It's not looking good, man. We do see a recall in the end. But Ryu, he lost so many workers. He has kind of a bank right now, but not good enough. Like, he needs gas. He knows it. He immediately prioritizes his gases. This could still go either way, if I'm completely honest. This is not set in stone. Supplies are close. Jim has a massive worker lead though, so his supply is being inflated. So Ryu still has the stronger army, but if Jim gets the 4th up and running, like, he can explode. Like, when it comes to his army, with his economy, everything. Like, this 4th is so important for Jim. Meanwhile, 3 Void Rays is all you need. He's gonna get another base. Void Rays are so annoying. They're so annoying to deal with. Yep. Another base goes down. They could get another base as well. Yep, no spores. Void Rays going to town. Oh. Jim doesn't go for it yet, and he's pushing out, this time with a couple of Zealots as well. Oh god. Pushing into a Spore Forest isn't the best move though, Jim. There we go, Microbial Shroud. See some more Yoinks. Oh god, 2 more carriers get picked off. I would kind of love some Fungals, not gonna lie. There we go. Fungals on the Interceptors. Oh my god, he yoinks everything. He doesn't even care. 4 carriers go down at the same time. Void Rays were trying to pick up. I think they denied another base, but this time there are enough queens. This time the Void Ray count isn't high enough. GG gets called. And Ryu does it. Oh my, there were like 2 base trades in that game. The Void Rays were sniping hatcheries left and right, but Ryu was able to hold on in the end. GG, well played. Ryu takes the series 2-0, and he will be our Copa Hyperion champion. Ah. Jesus Christ. GG, well played. Congratulations, Ryu. Felicidades, Ryu. He is our champion, our campeón. Oh, and what a game there. That was rough. That was close. Like, there were moments where, because Jim was killing so many hatcheries and killing so many drones, I was so scared for Ryu. But maybe I should have been, because as we saw, when it came to those main engagements, like, Ryu's control with his infestors and with his spellcasters and with his army was exactly what it needed to be. Like, sure, he couldn't keep up with the Void Rays, and the Void Rays were keeping Jim in the game, but like, the carriers were never a real threat just because of how Ryu was controlling his army. Like, it was just so good. And GG gets called. Again, Jim punished for avoiding splash damage. God damn it, Jim. Could have been so much more. What is Storm? What is Storm, you know? Are you a real Protoss player if you don't make High Templar, and if you don't make Storm? Taking my head. But congratulations to Ryu. Again, a very clinical showing of how to play late game ZvP, how to keep a cool head and stay calm and cool and collected about how you're fighting. And things could be on fire all around you. You know, you may be losing 5 hatcheries and Hydrodens and all this stuff, but if you're able to remain calm, like, just hashtag play like Ryu. Damn. GG. I was very impressed. I was very impressed, and I'm very happy with my boy. Obviously, Ryu is one of the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our players, and it's always great to see them doing well. Congratulations, congratulations. Oh, what a tournament. And with that, that is the end of today's tournament. We had quite a tournament indeed. Quickly looking at the bracket, a lot of big names, a lot of heavy hitters. It was very impressive to see Jim taking down the Zerglord with his Sky Toss. My condolences to the Zerglord. It did look like his mentality was destroyed. Like he did kind of crumble a little bit because of his maybe overconfidence, tunnel visioning too much. But Ryu looked so good today. 2-0 over Zions, 2-0 over Chaos Fate, and those grand finals. Like, Ryu looked so good. Oh, so good. And he even mixed in some cheese as well. Remember against Chaos Fate, he did go for the Roach Rush, which absolutely destroyed Chaos Fate. So Ryu shows that he doesn't just have to, you know, play nothing but macro. He can go for these early timing attacks as well. And yeah, he's pretty goddamn good at it. I also want to remind you, we also casted Ryu earlier today in a ZvZ against a 12 pool Spine Rush in ZvZ, and he handled that so beautifully as well. Ryu's so good. And Ryu is good, right? He's one of the best Zerg players in Latin America. He's a DreamHack level player, and again, he's looking to once again qualify for DreamHack in the next season of ESL Pro Tour once that comes around. So he's definitely something you should be keeping an eye on. He hasn't peaked yet. He is peaking though. He is practicing a lot. He's improving, getting better and better as a player. And again, massive shout out to Ryu just because it's 5 a.m. in Italy. It's not a good time. It's not a good time to be playing. That's why it's a best of 3, not a best of 5. So yeah. Rest up. Rest well, Ryu. Rest well. I think he already went to bed. I'm just messaging him. Get some sleep. GG. Less than 3. GG. So Ryu's gonna be going to bed, but again, he's going to bed a man a little bit richer. Congratulations. Congratulations. And yeah, with that, that is the end of our tournament today. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the tournament. A bit of an explanation as to what the tournament was. It is a Latin American bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks, we have Copa Hyperion. Every other week, we have Sentimiento Latino. So basically, every single week, at the same time, same place, we have some Latin American StarCraft for you, where we feature players like the ones who played today, and a couple of others. We were talking about it. A couple of players were missing. Paco Mike, Eggs, to name 2, Shakti. Shakti has been a little bit more inactive recently. Yanji as well. So there are a couple of players, a couple of regulars that we didn't see today. But regardless, we had a great day of StarCraft, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If you're interested in the rest of our broadcasts, our next cast is going to be tomorrow in 24 hours, or actually 23 hours. I'm going to be casting ESL Open Cup Asia. So if you want some Korean StarCraft, then we got you there. Some Korean or even some Southeast Asian StarCraft. Depending on who signs up, I'm going to be casting alongside Yaku. Yaku Zaku. After a long hiatus, he's going to be coming back. He's been very busy studying, focusing on his university studies. So Yaku has been unavailable for a couple of months. For just over a month, I think. But he's going to be making his return tomorrow. A brief return, don't get me wrong. After tomorrow, he's going to go back to studying and he won't be available again. But he's like, yo, I have Sunday off. And I'm like, mate, we got you. We're going to grab Yaku in. We're going to make him cast as much as he can for what he's worth. I'm going to make him solo cast. I'm just going to make him spend all of his energy on that cast. Because I miss Yaku. We miss casting with Yaku here, so it's great to have him back. It's great to have him back. So yes, until then, we will see you tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Asia. I recommend tuning into or checking us out on social media. You know, we have our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord as well. We post whenever we go live, and all of our VODs. If we have a tournament that you aren't available for, and if you want to tune into the VOD, we have our VODs available on Twitch, but we also upload all of our VODs on YouTube as well. So check out our YouTube channel. It has been growing steadily throughout the weeks. And I highly recommend it. You know, all of our content is there on YouTube without any of the downtime, without any of the breaks. It's all cut out. And yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. With that, I'm also your caster today, ZvP. If you want to tune into more of myself, I do stream on my own channel. I do stream my ladder sessions and some Final Fantasy 14, and I'm playing through Final Fantasy 12 as well. So if you're interested in some of my solo stuff that isn't casting StarCraft, then check me out there. But if you just want the StarCraft cast, then check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings. We got plenty of StarCraft throughout the entire week. Got a lot of casting coming up. In a couple of days, we also have NA Apprentice. NA Apprentice is on the horizon, so some more North American StarCraft is going to be coming in as well. And with that, thank you. All right, Shelby. Shelby was missing as well. True. Oh, God. Yes, ARJ Skater is correct. Shelby was missing. God damn it, Shelby. Shaking my head. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you in less than 24 hours for ESL Open Cup Asia. Ciao.